Hi everyone, Trevor here again, and welcome to our next video in our digital series titled Saanich Council Voting Dashboard. Serving all of you and improving transparency and engagement are top priorities for Saanich. Our voting dashboard is a new service for us, and one actually not widely used in most other municipalities. It's designed to enhance transparency and access to information for anyone wishing to better understand council business and how individual councillors engaged in each bylaw decision. It offers detailed insights on how council members voted on every bylaw, helping you stay informed and actively engaged with their decision-making process. This information has actually always been public, but the voting dashboard brings all of this information together in a visual and interactive way. One final note before we jump in: the implementation of this tool is one of several commitments made under Council Strategic Plan for this term, and as such, we're very excited to announce it earlier this year. So why don't you join me on my computer here? We'll get started with some prerequisites, and we'll give you a good overview of the tool. So before we access the voting dashboard, let's discuss a few prerequisites. For the best experience, we recommend accessing our services through standard internet web browsers such as Microsoft Edge or Google Chrome. While other browsers like Safari may still work, we don't actively test our digital services on these lesser used platforms. The dashboard is also accessible from your smartphone, as long as you're using one of the two previously noted browsers. However, keep in mind we've enabled touchscreen and pinch and zoom so you can see the entire dashboard on the smaller screen. Finally, some advanced features may use a right click. I'll show you the main ones once we get into the video. So before you start, ensure that your right-click feature is enabled on your phone. Finally, if you encounter any issues at all, adjust your browser settings to trust our domain saanich.ca and ensure cookies and site features are accepted for optimal access to all features. So how do you access the Saanich Council Voting Dashboard? Well, there's really two main ways. The first way is simply go to our website, saanich.ca. Here's our website here, the current version. Under local government, you can scroll down to mayor and council. Under mayor and council, just click on agenda, and then right here near the top, you'll see a link that says view the council voting dashboard. I'll just take a moment to mention that there's some additional detail on the right-hand side, just around some of the features and so forth. Click on that, and up comes the actual dashboard itself. The second way, and let me just close this down, and the second way really is just do a Google search for it. So from here you can type in Saanich Council Voting Dashboard or just Voting Dashboard. We'll do the same thing. Click on the link, and that'll bring you back to essentially this page here. There's another link, and up comes the actual voting dashboard. Let's start by giving a high-level overview of the dashboard itself. What you see here is a top menu bar with the name District of Saanich, a last updated field. This will tell you just to make sure that the information there is current. I'll just mention very briefly that after council meetings occur, there is a 2-day delay for when the information flows through to the dashboard. That's mainly just to make sure that the wording of the resolutions is accurate. Top left-hand corner here, you'll see the actual filter itself. This is where you'll control what data you want to see inside the actual member activity pane, which is on the right-hand side here. Down in the bottom, there's more detail that will come up, again, based on how you filter and sort items up at the top. You'll see the bottom area show in. And then the actual detailed resolution or the wording of the motion itself as agreed to through council. As well as a search pane on the bottom, which gives you some additional capability to search for keywords in the resolution themselves. So starting with a little bit more detail, the filter pane on the top left-hand corner. This is where you'll control all the data that you want to see, and it's broken up into 4 different areas. You have the meeting types along the top, which in this case are committee of the whole, council, a regular meeting, special council meeting, and public hearing. On the bottom, you'll see the actual status, whether it be absent, in favor, opposed, or recused. You'll see a date range here, which would basically mean for every council night, there'll be a date range, as well as the actual council members themselves. Now, a key thing, and this is actually quite an important point, the data that you want to see needs to have essentially a black field. So when you first go into this filter, all data for all meeting dates and all categories is included. If you just wanted to see, for instance, one date range, you would select all here. You'd go down to that particular date range, and then you'll see along the right-hand side how the council member activity pane dynamically adjusts based on that particular date range. So in this case, I'm viewing it was a special council meeting. That was the only meeting that happened on April the 8th, 2025. All council members are included and all statuses are included. Interesting here to note is that the actual votes themselves, these panes, can be adjusted as well. So for instance, if you wanted to look at all of the votes that Mayor Dean Murdoch voted for, you would click on that bar. And then down here, this is where you would use the right-click feature. So we would expand all, and then you would see all of the votes that make up these 44 down here. And if you want to look at the wording particular for one of those votes, you'll click on it, and up comes the actual resolution wording. Anytime you want to reset the filter, go ahead and click the reset button here, and it brings you back to that default where, again, all data, all fields, all dates are included. Another good example of how you can use the voting dashboard would be to look at the actual statuses along the bottom. So say, for instance, we wanted to see all of the in favor votes as an example. So this date range includes everything. This is all date ranges and all in favors. Perhaps you just wanted to see opposed. You would see a vote again, all date ranges, all opposed, who may have had to recuse themselves, who may have been absent, that sort of thing. For instance, you can further refine this down to say maybe you just wanted to look at one particular meeting. So again, pick that meeting, and again, that on the right-hand side, everything will dynamically adjust based on those particular meeting dates that you choose. Go ahead and click reset to bring you back to the top level, and you can go ahead and start your search again. Next, I'll quickly highlight the search bar along the bottom. Again, the search bar is based on the data that you have in the filter here. So in this case, everything is turned on. Say, for instance, I wanted to search for any resolutions that included the term UBCM, which is Union of BC Municipalities. You just type in that particular search term, press search. Again, go ahead and use your right click here to expand all, and you'll see that there were, within those date ranges above, there were 3 motions that included the term UBCM. Again, go ahead and click on them, and you can see the wording of the resolution come up, and here you go, there's that key term there. So anytime you're looking for a specific piece of information, I'll just quickly note that it only searches the resolution box wording. It's not going to search for motion ID or names of counselors or even anything that's inside the item. It's got to be within the actual resolution itself. On to a few frequently asked questions. The first one we get is, why are these numbers so high? I don't believe we have that many council meetings, and that's absolutely true. We certainly don't have over 550 council meetings in a term. However, we do have, in many cases, 40, 50, 60 resolutions or bylaws bylaw changes, rather, for every council meeting. So these numbers here represent each individual resolution. Second question we get is, are there any limits placed on the data? Well, there's no limits per se. All of the information that happens in a council meeting is public, but there is a limit to the term. So for instance, this term, we're about 3/4 of the way through. All of the information and the date ranges that you see here are relative to a particular council term. Next election, next term, all of these date ranges would essentially refresh, and they would start with their own data set for that particular term. Third question is, are there any changes coming? We definitely are tracking a few improvements, particularly in the search bar and some general usability improvements, but if you do have any suggestions, please reach out And there'll be a link at the end of this video with how to do that. And finally, is there someone that I can call if I see an error? We definitely want to hear if there's an error in the dashboard. Just please contact Legislative Services at saanich.ca. Make them aware of the error that you see. They'll certainly look into it. And if necessary, they'll make any adjustments to the dashboard. Well, I think that concludes our overview of the Saanich Council Voting Dashboard. Thank you so much for taking the time to learn about this exciting new service. Council is working hard for you, and I think this tool is a critical addition to our services, and it helps foster a clear understanding of Council's business and helps Council engage with all of you. We encourage you to explore this dashboard today. Stay connected, stay informed, stay involved, and help make Saanich a better community. If you have any questions or feedback about the dashboard or this video or any other topic, please reach out. I'll put my email up here that we've created for you. We'd love to hear from you at digitalimprovements@saanich.ca. Thanks for watching. Happy exploring.